Shalom. Today I'm talking about crucify your ego, your flesh, and become a servant. That's the topic of our topic today, cause I want to make you to understand that Yahuah commands us to become lesser in our flesh. Our flesh must die, and we have to become servants, not rulers. We should be servants. And I think there's many which people don't realize, cause Yahuah in fact commands us to become servants. Servants. Always servants. He says, I find no single verse in the scriptures which would say that we can do whatever we want. He says, crucify your flesh, crucify your ego, and become my servant. That's what Yahuah is saying. And I hope my network is with me, cause my network is sometimes cracking, but we will see what the I will see. Okay, we start with Psalms 36. The transgression of the wicked says with my heart that there is no fear of Yahuah before his eyes, for he flatters himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He has left off to be wise and to do good. He devised mischief upon his bed. He sets himself in a way there is not good. He abhors not evil. Thy mercy, O Yahuah, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reached unto the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountains, thy judgments are great deep. O Yahuah, thou preserved man and beasts. How exalted is thy loving kindness, O Yahuah. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasure. For with thee is a fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of the pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen, they are cast down and shall not be able to rise. Amen, hallelujah, echad. And we go to Galatians 2 verse 20. Galatians 2 verse 20. Here it says, I am crucified with Hamashiach. Nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Hamashiach lives in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh I live by the faith of the Son of Elohim, who loved me and gave himself for me. Yeah, we are crucified. if you come to the acknowledge that you have sinned, that you failed, and when you have accepted the forgiveness for your transgressions against the Torah, against everything Yahuah has had commanded us in the scriptures, yeah, and you came to the acknowledge of the mercy of Yahuah and accepted the blood gift which he had made for you to nullify your transgressions against him, yeah? Then you are a new creation. Yeah? You are crucified with Hamashiach. Your old life is nailed to the tree. And now, here is said, I am crucified with Hamashiach. Nevertheless, I live. Yet, not I, but Hamashiach lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Elohim, who loved me and gave himself for me. Yeah? We are no longer partakers in our own flesh. Our flesh must die. Daily. Our flesh must die. We go to Ephesians 4:22 verse 24. Ephesians 4 verse 22 verse to 24. That ye put off concerning the former convention the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are the members of one another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down over your wrath. Never give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, work with his hands the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needs. Let not corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use and edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohim, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you, with all malice, and be ye kind one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Hamashiach's sake has forgiven you. Yeah? We should put away our own flesh, and the worldly pleasures we should put aside. We should decrease. Yeah? He must increase. Yeah? Yahuah doesn't wants that he becomes great in us, not that our own old flesh exalts himself and becomes great. No. Yahuah wants that we crucify our own ego and apply the character and everything Yahusha had lived for us has given us as an example, that we live like him. Yahusha must increase in us, not our flesh. Philippians 3 verse 8. Philippians 3 verse 8. Yea, doubtless, and account all things, but lose for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahusha, my Yahuah, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I might win Hamashiach, and be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the Torah, but that which is through the faith of Hamashiach, the righteousness which is of Elohim by faith, that I might know him and the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. In the fact, we are dead. Our own flesh died with Hamashiach. We must step out from our comfort zones and walk after Hamashiach. We should not live our own pleasures. That's what false preachers are showing at any times. Every time they show up, well, you can do your pleasures. That's not right. That's sin. That is sin. That is blasphemy, because our own flesh must die. Our flesh must die. You cannot serve two masters. If you serve two masters, it's impossible. You have to step out from your comfort zones. Crucify your flesh, and then walk after Hamashiach. Your own flesh must die. Flesh cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahuah. By no means. And if you take not your tree and walk after Hamashiach, you cannot be his disciple. That's impossible. That's why the topic today is very important. Crucify your own ego. Your ego must die. You have to humble yourself. And we go further. Colossians 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concubine, and covetousness, which is adultery, from which things' sake the wrath of Elohim came out on the children of disobedience, in the which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these things: anger, wrath, mercy, blasphemy, filthy communication of your mouths. Lie not one to another, saying that ye have put off the old man which with his deeds, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge, after the image of him that created him. You have died. You have to crucify your own flesh. That's what you have to do every day. And you cannot say, well, I am not perfect. Yahuah wants you to be perfect. Yahuah wants you to step out from your comfort zones. Yahuah wants that you leave your own old flesh behind you. He says, when you have the truth shall make you free. You cannot. Yahuah gave you the key to step out of your comfort zones, to step out of your prison, old prison. Get out and crucify your flesh. Become a servant. Humble yourself. That's what Yahuah wants. He said, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in the knowledge after the image of him that created him, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bound nor free, but Hamashiach is all in and in all. But on therefore as the elect of Elohim, holy and beloved, both of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. You should be perfect, he says here, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of Elohim rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful. Here he says, put on the new man. Crucify your old flesh. Your old flesh is nailed to the tree of Hamashiach. Yeah. He took it away, but some people of you live like Hamashiach is dead. He is not dead. He's alive. He reigns. And if you want to be in the heavens, you, or in the kingdom of Yahuah, when Yahuah returns, you have to do one thing. Crucify your own flesh. Put away your comfort zones. And do what he is saying. His word says, put away your flesh. Do my works. Become a servant. The first part here is crucify your ego. That's what you have to do first before you can be a servant. And we go to Luke 9, verse 23 to 24. Luke 9, verse 23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his tree daily, and follow me. For whomsoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advance if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's, and set apart angels. But I tell you of the truth, there be some standing here, which shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of Elohim. And he said, if any man shall come after me, let him deny himself. You have to deny yourself. You have to say, well, for Hamashiach's sake, I am worthless. In myself, there is nothing good. And I put it away and say, I go after you. I walk out of my comfort zones, walk after you, and say, I want to serve you. I want to accept if I should suffer for you. I accept everything, because you are the one whom I want to serve. Yeah? Your flesh must die. Your ego must die. Your comfort zones, where you have built a wall to hide yourself from I don't know whatever. This wall must broken down. Yahuah says, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his tree daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advance if he gain the whole world and lose himself, or be cast away? For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own esteem, in his Father's and the whole set apart angels. But I tell you the truth. He says, if you don't deny yourself, yeah? And John 12 verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it dies alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. He that loves his life shall lose it, and he that hates his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it dies alone. But if it die, it brings forth much fruit. He that loves his life shall lose it, and he that hates his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. You have to lose your life. You have to exit your own prison where you stay if you don't humble yourself. Crucify your flesh. Crucify your ego. We go further in Romans 6. Romans 6. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound? Yahuah forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized unto Hamashiach, Yahusha, were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Hamashiach was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should walk in newness of life. For we have been planted there together in the likeness of his death. We shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we shall not serve sin. For he that is dead is freed from sin. Now if we are dead with Hamashiach, we believe that we shall also live with him. Knowing that Hamashiach, being raised from the dead, dies no more, death has no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he lives unto Yahuah. Likewise reckon ye also yourself to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto Elohim through Yahusha Hamashiach, our Yahuah. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye shall obey it in lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as an instrument of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourself unto Elohim, as those that are alive from the dead, and your members of instruments of righteousness unto Elohim. For sin shall not have dominion over you. For ye are not under the law of death, of law of death and destruction. Which when Paul says law was done away, which law does he mean? The law of sin and death, which was your death penalty. Your death penalty was done away, not the Torah. There is in scriptures there are two words for Torah, for law. The Torah, which Paul says is eternal, and the law of sin and death. There are two different words in the Greek, and many say, well, the entire law is away. That's false. That's completely nonsense. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the Torah of sin and death, but under grace. What then shall we sin because we are not under the Torah of sin and death, but under grace? Yahuah forbid. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourself, servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, wherever of sin or unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness? But Elohim be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that from of doctrine which was delivered you. Being then made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of man, because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness. For when ye were the servants of sin, ye were freed from righteousness. What fruit had ye then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin, and become servants of Elohim, ye have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin and death is death, but the gift of Elohim is eternal life through Yahusha HaMashiach our Yahuah. Here it says we have a new life. So if we have a new life, we cannot remain in the old manner of living. So we go to John 3. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Yahudim. The same came to Yahusha by night, and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher came from Elohim, for no man can do these miracles that thou dost, except Elohim be with him. Yahusha said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Elohim. Your ego, your flesh must die. It says, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Elohim. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahusha said, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Ruach, he cannot enter the kingdom of Elohim. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit, or of the Ruach, is Ruach. Marvel not that I said unto thee, Ye must be born again. You have to have a new beginning. You cannot, when you remain in sin, you will never enter the kingdom of Yahuah. The wind blows whither it lists, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it come and whither it goes. So is everyone that is born of the Ruach. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, How can these things be? Yahusha answered and said unto him, Art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. If I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how can ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And no man has ascended up to heavens, but he that came down from heavens, even the Son of Man, which is in heavens. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have an eternal life. For Elohim so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever shall believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For Elohim sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believes on him is not condemned, but he that believes not in is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Yahuah. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and world loves darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that does evil hates the life, neither comes to the light, lest his deed should be reproved. But he that does truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be made manifested that they are wrought in Elohim. So, you have to bury your flesh. It must die daily. First Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. There it says this comes in another topic about the jobs and the gifts which you have to do for Yahuah. No? But here it says, Thou I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity or love. I am became a sounding brass of a tinkling cymbal. And thou have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries, and all knowledge, and thou I have faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And thou I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and thou I give my body to be burned. And have not charity, it profits me nothing. Charity suffers long, and is kind. Charity envies not. Charity vaunteth not itself, does not behave itself unseemly, seeks not her own, it is not easily provoked, thinks not no evil, rejoice not in bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Prophecies they shall fail, whether there be tongues they shall cease, whether there be knowledge it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But that which is perfect it is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. Now when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's what we should do. Crucify your ego, do away your comfort zones, put away your childish things, your excuses. Yeah? Your excuses to remain in comfort zones. This is what you should put away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to as also I am known. And not now abdies faith, hope, and charity. There, these three, but the greatest of this is charity. Yeah, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's what you have to do. 13, Romans 13. Verse 14. Here, The night is fast spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off all the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, nor in chumbering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. But put ye on the Yahuah, Yahusha HaMashiach, and that make not provision for the flesh, to fully fulfill the lusts thereof. You have to put your flesh away. You have to put away your flesh. For he is for this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are Elohim's ministers, and tending continually upon this very thing. Obey no man anything, but to love one another, for he that loves one another has fully fulfilled the Torah. For this, thou shalt not kill, commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, and if there be any other command, is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Love works no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is a fulfilling of the Torah, and that knowing the time that now is night, high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on Yahuah, Yahusha HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh, to fulfill the lusts thereof. Yeah, we should put away the flesh. The flesh must die. Everything of it must die. You cannot remain in sin. Matthew 26, verse 41. Matthew 26, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak. The flesh cannot comprehend and stand in things which Yahuah wants us to do. The flesh is corrupted. The flesh cannot do what Yahuah wants that we should do. Galatians 6, verse 8. Galatians 6, verse 8. For he that sows to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that sows of the Ruach shall of the Ruach HaKadosh reap life everlasting. Be not deceived, Elohim is not mocked, for whatsoever man sows, that shall also he reap. For he that sows in his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that sows in the Ruach shall of the Ruach reap everlasting life. You have to crucify your flesh. First Peter 4 1 to 2. First Peter 4. 1 to 2. 1 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 Peter 4. 1 to 2. For as much then Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind. For he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, that he no longer shall live the rest of his time in the flesh for the lust of man, but the will of Elohim. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in a lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, abominable idolatries, wherein they think it is strange that ye run not with them, to do the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this case was a gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to man in the flesh, but live according to Elohim in the Ruach. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all these things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sin. Use hospitality one to another, which without grudging. As a man has received a gift, even so minister the same one to one another, as good stewards of manifold grace of Elohim. That he no longer shall live in the rest of his time in the flesh, to the lusts of man, but to the will of Elohim. We shall not live in the flesh. The flesh is dead. The flesh is corrupt. The flesh is abomination to Yahuah's standard of living. We should live like Yahusha, and the flesh cannot do it. You have to walk away from your comfort zones. Crucify your flesh. Humble yourself. Put away pride. And serve Yahuah. Serve Yahusha. Galatians 5 verse 19 to 24. Galatians 5 verse 19. Galatians 5 verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the Torah of sin and death. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatreds, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such things, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in the time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no Torah of sin and death. And they that are Hamashiach have crucified the flesh with the affection and lusts. If we walk in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let not the desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying not one another. That's what we should do. We should put away our flesh. Romans 8, verse 12 to 13. Romans 8. Romans 8, verse 12 to 13. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. Yeah? Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do modify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. You shall let your flesh die. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do modify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. And Titus 2, verse 12. Teach us that, denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. Teaching this, denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, or fleshly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. You cannot remain in flesh. You cannot. Luke 14, verse 33. Luke 14. Yahuah wants us that we become servants. But what is a servant? A servant means you serve Yahuah. Yahuah wants you to serve Him. Yeah, we are not made now to reign. We should learn to serve, because before if any man come to me and hates not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever does not bear his tree and come after me cannot be my disciple. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciples. And whosoever does not bear his tree and come after me cannot be my disciple. Yeah, you cannot. And so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsakes not all that he has, he cannot be my disciple. You have to exit everything of this life. You should be set apart. You should apply the character of Yahuah on your life. But how can you do it? How was Yahuah the first time when he came? He was a serving king. He was a serving king to nullify our debts. Yeah? And if we want to reign with him, we must learn to serve. We must serve. Yeah? Before you can have the leading status. You have to learn to serve, not to reign. We go to Matthew 10. Matthew 10. Matthew 10 verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heavens is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out the devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. That's one thing why I wonder why all the Bibles cost something, because he said, freely ye have received, freely give. Provide neither gold nor silver, nor brass in your purses, no scrip for your journey, neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, and inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. And when ye come into a house, salute it. And if the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it not be worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. But ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they shall search you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour when ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speaks, but the Ruach of your Father which speaks in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall raise up against the parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated all of men for my name's sake, but he that endures to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel, till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Yahuah. It is not above his master. It is enough for the disciple that he be his master, and the servant as his master. If they have called the master of the house of Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household? Fear them not therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. But I tell you in the darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ears, that preach ye upon the housetop. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him that is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father, but that very hairs of your heads are numbered. Fear not, therefore, ye are more valuable than many sparrows. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heavens. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Therefore think not that I came to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I came to set a man's at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that takes not his tree and follows after me is not worthy of me. He that finds his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. He that receives you receives me, and he that receives me receives him that sent me. He that receives a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he receives a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whatsoever shall give a drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall nowise lose his reward. You are a servant, not a leader. He says, when he comes, he will say, what? Well done, good and faithful. What? Servant? He says servant, yes. Not leader, not worship leader, not prayer, whatever. He says, good, well done, good and faithful servant. We are servants. One is king. We are all servants. We are all brothers and sisters. Yeah? And he says if someone is not taking up the tray and goes after him, we are not worthy of him. We wouldn't be worthy of him. We go to Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4 verse 22. Take ye put off concerning a former conversion the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man which is after Elohim, created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of one another. We should apply Yahuah's character and become servants. That's it. That's what Yahuah wants us. That's why he gave us an entire lifetime. We go to Romans 7. Romans 7 to 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the Torah, how the Torah has dominion over a man as long as he lives. For the woman which has an husband is bound by the Torah to her husband so long as he lives. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. So then if while her husband lives she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband is dead, she is free from that law, so that she is not adulteress, though she be married to another man. Wherefore, my brethren, ye are also became dead to the Torah we became dead to the Torah of sin and death by the body of Hamashiach, that ye shall be married to another, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we shall bring forth fruit unto Elohim. For when we were in the flesh, the motions of sin which were by the Torah, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. But now we are delivered from the Torah of sin and death, that being dead wherein we were held, that we should serve in newness in spirit, and not in the oldness of the letter. What shall we say then? Is the Torah sin? Yahuah forbid. Nay, it had not known sin, but by the Torah. For I have not known lust, except the Torah has said, Thou shalt not covet. But sin takes osation by the command, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence. For without the Torah, sin was dead. For I was alive without the Torah once. But when the command came, sin revived, and I died. And the command which was ordained to life I found to be unto death. For sin takes osation by the commandments, deceived me, and by it slew me. Wherefore the Torah is holy, and the commandment is holy, and just, and good. Yeah? The Torah, which Yahuah made, is holy, just, good. Yeah? Was then that which is good made death unto me? Elohim forbid, but sin that it might appear sin works death in me, but by which is good that sin by the command might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the Torah is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do I allow not, for what I would that I do I not, but what I hate that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the Torah which is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwells in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwells no good thing. For it is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good which I would not do, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that which I would not, it is no more that I do it, but sin that dwells in me. I find then a Torah that, when I would do good, evil is present within me. For I delight in the Torah of Elohim after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the Torah of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the Torah of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Elohim through Yahusha HaMashiach our Yahuah. So then, with the mind I myself serve the Torah of Elohim, but with the flesh the Torah of sin. Yeah. We go to 1 Peter 2. 1 Peter 2. Verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that was where they speak against you as evildoers, they may be your good works, which they shall behold. Glorify Elohim in the day of visitation. Yeah. I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. We shall abstain from fleshly lust. From the flesh, from the ego, from comfort zones. Yeah. Acts 17. Acts 17. We go to (23). For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription: to the unknown deity, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you. Elohim that made the world and all therein, things therein, seeing that he is Yahuah of heavens and earth, dwells not in the temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with man's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he gives to all lives and breath in all things, and has made one of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of earth, and has determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitations, that they should seek Yahuah, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live and move, and have our beings, as certain also your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Forasmuch then as we are of the offspring of Elohim, we also ought not to think that Yahuah head is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by arts and man's device. And as times of this ignorance Yahuah winked at, but now commands all men everywhere to repent, because he has appointed a day in that which he would judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he has ordained, whom he has given assurance unto all men, in that he raised from the dead. He has appointed a day to judge, and your flesh will die, if you sow in flesh. And if you remain in flesh, he will judge you. He will burn you up. Your flesh will die. The flesh will die in the second when you face Yahuah. John 15 says we are his servants. You should read John 13 to 16. Here it says we are his servants, and the servant is not above his master. We are under him. We should humble ourselves. We are not above the master. We go now to Colossians 3, 1 to 25. Here says we should crucify our flesh. John 14, 15 to 17 says, if ye are my servants, if you love me, you should keep my commandments. 1 John 5, 1 to 20 says, if we love him, we should keep the Torah. 1 Peter 4, 1 to 11 says, we should humble ourselves. Philippians 3, verse 10 says, we should humble ourselves. 1 Corinthians 5, 1 to 13 says, we should crucify our flesh. Romans 1 says, if we sow in the flesh, we will have no excuse on the judgment day. John 12, 26 says, we are not above the master. Galatians 5:13, we are servants. Mark 10:42 verse 45 says, if we are not willing to become servants, we are not worthy of him. John 13 verse 16 says, humble yourself. There it shows John 13:12 to 15. There we see the serving king, and like he was, we should serve one another. 1 Corinthians 4 1 to 2 says, become servants of Hamashiach. Colossians 3:23 to 24 says, be servants. 1 Peter 5 verse 5 says, we are servants. Matthew 6:24 says, you cannot serve two masters. Matthew 25 verse 21 and 23 says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Matthew 20 verse 28 says, "Even the Son of Man came not to reign, but to serve, to give his life as a ransom for many." 2 Timothy 2 verse 15 says, "We are servants." Matthew 20 verse 26 says, "We are servants." Philippians 2 verse 5 to 7 says, "We should be in the example of Hamashiach," and Hamashiach was found in the fashion of man, even though he was Yahuah. Luke 22 verse 27 says, "We are servants." John 13 shows again, "We are servants." Luke 22 verse 24 to 30 says the same, "We are servants." James 4 verse 10, "We are servants." We are servants. And we should learn to serve. Crucify your flesh. Crucify your flesh, crucify your ego zones. He must increase, we must decrease. John 3 verse 30 says, "He must increase, we must decrease." Our flesh must die, our flesh must vanish. And if you are not willing, you are not worthy to be found among the saints. Really, I hope this will help you to understand. Study for yourself. The scripture is full of what we should do. Yeah? Crucify your ego. Become a servant. Please, the signs of the times are clear. Yeah? You cannot joke. You cannot play around. Be a servant. Humble yourself. And serve him. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve Christianity or whatever you think of. Humble yourself, crucify your ego, become a servant. If you are not comfortable with what I am saying, well, it is your choice, but Scripture is telling the truth. So, I hope this will help you to be who you are. You are not on this earth. You are a servant. You have to learn to serve, not to lead. Yeah? Yahuah is our leader. He is our king. And I hope this will help you to understand how serious it is. Yahuah bless you and keep you. Yahuah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuah lift his countenance upon you and give you his shalom. Be blessed.